Hey, what's up? It's your girl Nique, and you're tuned in to Nique at Night. And I'm coming to you to talk about Amber Geiger and the verdict that has just been reached in regards to her case against the young man who she entered into his apartment while he was in there alone. And she claims she mistook it for her own apartment and she murdered him in cold blood, from what I would say. The verdict was just reached, and she has now been found guilty. Just before they were about to reach the verdict, the judge had came out and was like, "Oh, you know what? In considering her being charged, you guys can, charge her with something that was similar to stand your ground." And, I'm just like, something similar to stand your ground. Like, no, like, this is no way, shape, or form in comparison to be the same. And I'm glad that the jurors were able to not even go with that and throw that out the window and find her guilty, because that's what she was, guilty. Because had this had been the other way around, a black man walking into a white woman's apartment, he would have been found guilty off top. And I'm glad that justice was served, and now she faces up to life in prison. I was trying to look and see what the sentence was, but I'm guessing they have not given the sentence yet. But I come to you guys to assure you that she was found guilty. And I'm glad that the jury threw out that BS of trying to, consider it similar to stand your ground, because that was total BS when I heard it. And I'm like, oh, heck no. I'm like, they trying to get this lady off. Oh, heck no. So I'm going to go on over to CNN. For those of you who do not know who Amber Geiger is, just to refresh your memory, she is the cop from Dallas, or the ex-cop from Dallas, who was going home, and she claimed that she thought a guy was in her apartment. She was on the wrong floor. It was not her apartment floor. It was not her apartment at all. And she claimed she thought it was her apartment and killed the guy in his apartment. I'm going to play a little bit of CNN for you guys, and then I'm going to read what happened. Hold up. Let me pull everything up. But I just thought to bring that to you guys real quick. So here's just a little bit of a summary for those of you who don't know who Amber Geiger is.
I have my gun pointed, and I'm saying, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands."
What were you focused on?
Him.
Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger tearfully detailed the confrontation that ended Botham Jean's life. The 26-year-old accountant was alone in his apartment when Geiger pushed the door open, thinking it was her apartment. She says Jean shouted back and that it all ended in a few seconds.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
And that's at that point whenever I shot.
Somewhere in this area.
Yes, sir.
When you shot, what happened?
He fell down.
Geiger says as she walked through the door carrying her police gear on her left arm, she opened the door and heard loud shuffling and moving inside.
Whenever I fully opened the door, I saw this silhouette figure standing in the back middle of the apartment by the window.
Her lawyer then pulled the gun used in the shooting out of an envelope.
Amber. When you pulled your weapon at night and you fired, why did you fire?
I was scared. Whoever was inside my apartment was going to kill me. And I'm sorry. I have to live with that every single day.
Prosecutors hammered Geiger for appearing more interested in her own well-being than saving Botham Jean's life, focusing on videos showing Geiger talking to fellow officers who arrived at the scene and texting her police partner, who she had been exchanging sexually explicit text messages with earlier in the evening.
I was alone with him, and that's the scariest thing you can ever imagine. I just wanted help.
Can you imagine Mr. Jean's perspective? perspective, an intruder barging into his apartment, somebody on the other side of that door being you, going in with the purpose of finding the threat and taking care of it. Can't you imagine that being a little bit scarier than you just being alone at the moment?
Yes, sir, I can.
Prosecutors also questioned why Geiger didn't just retreat and call for help when she heard someone behind the door thinking it was her own.
You could have taken a position of cover and concealment. You could have called for help on your radio, and you could have had the cavalry there in 2 minutes.
I could have.
And had you done any one of those things, Mr. Jean would probably be alive today. Right?
Yes, sir.
Tension filled the courtroom. This was the first time the public heard Geiger talking about the shooting.
I feel like a terrible person. I feel like a piece of crap. I hate that I have to live with this every single day of my life. And I ask God for forgiveness, and I hate myself every single day. I feel like I don't deserve the chance to be with my
Ooh, child. I kept pausing it, giving commentary, and I had turned off my mic in the beginning of playing this video. So all the pauses, I know y'all probably was looking at it like, why she keep pausing it and not saying nothing? I was talking and I was giving commentary, but basically what I was saying was she thought that, she was going to give these fake tears, these fake white girl tears, and she thought that that was going to get her off. And honestly, I thought that they were going to try to give her a pass for some mess that she knew good and goddamn well that was not her apartment. She knew that wasn't her apartment. She went into there and she shot that man in cold blood. And she now, I'm glad that justice was served. She was in there trying, oh my God, I was so scared. No, you wouldn't have been scared if you was in your goddamn apartment. Okay?
family and friends. I wish he was the one with the gun that killed me.
Amber Geiger says she heard someone inside the apartment as she opened the door, and as she saw the silhouette come towards her, she felt, quote, pure fear. But prosecutors pointed out that in her 911 call, Amber Geiger mentioned repeatedly that she had entered the wrong apartment, but she never mentioned that Botham Jean was coming towards her or that she felt threatened. Ed Lavandera, CNN, Dallas.
Okay, so that is what Dallas put up there as like a little summary, but basically she has now been found guilty of murder, as you see on the screen. It says a jury has found former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger guilty of murder after less than 24 hours of deliberation. Geiger was indicted last year after fatally shooting her unarmed neighbor Botham Jean in his apartment, which she said she mistook as hers. Jurors were given the option of finding Geiger guilty of the lesser offense of manslaughter with the murder conviction. Geiger, 31, now faces up to life in prison. I'm sorry. The verdict follows a case that has captured national attention and sparked outrage. Geiger, who is white, testifies she parked on the wrong floor of the Dallas apartment complex where she lived on September 6, 2018. She then walked to the apartment directly above hers, which belonged to Jean, who was black, and fired when she encountered Jean. And so then above that, it says that, the charge, Geiger is charged with killing Botham, her unarmed 26-year-old black neighbor in his apartment while she was off duty. Let me see what else. Let me see if there's any more updates on this. 3 new updates. Let me click that. Okay, so this is from the attorney of the family of Botham, the guy that she killed. And it says, Attorney S. Lee Merritt, who represents Botham Jean's family, reacted on Twitter following the guilty verdict. On behalf of the family of Botham Shem Jean, thank you, Dallas County, for delivering the proper murder conviction of Amber Geiger. Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger entered Gene's apartment, which she said she mistook for hers, and fatally shot him as he watched TV on the couch. Geiger was found guilty of murder earlier today. So this is his statement right here. And he's thanking Dallas County for delivering the proper murder conviction of Amber. And then it says that both men did not deserve to die. And his family deserved justice, which they did, you know. So I just wanted to come to you guys and bring you guys that and let you know that she did get a guilty verdict. And I myself, I was questioning if it would happen when the judge went in and slipped in there that they could, charge her with something similar to stand your ground. I was like, oh, wait, hold up. Wait, how you go a whole trial and then slip in there? Oh, by the way, you can possibly, charge her with similar to stand your ground. I'm glad that the jurors threw that out because the lawyers did not argue against that, and that's not what they made their case around. So I'm glad that the jurors did not go by that and did not charge her with that and charge this heifer of murder. When I seen that, I was just like, wait a minute, whoa. Because that came out, I want to say yesterday when they said that, the judge came out and said that it could be similar. And I'm like, wait, how they go a whole case, argue and make their points for one thing, and then the judge slips in there that they could charge her with something else. So, again, I'm glad that they charged her of murder and not that. But I wanted to just come and bring that to you guys. And I'll be bringing you guys more celebrity news and gossip. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, guys. Peace.